Listening 13. Flyers practice test. Listening part 4. Listen and look. There is one example. What time did the lesson start?
So, Betty, why are you late for my lesson?
Sorry, Mrs. Hall. I had to go to the doctor this morning.
Well, the lesson began at 10:15, and it's 10:30 now.
I'm sorry, but I had to see the doctor at 9:30, and then I came straight to school.
OK, Betty, but I'll need a letter from your mother.
All right, Mrs. Hall.
Can you see the tick? This is an example. Now you listen and tick the box. 1. What is Betty making in her cooking lesson today?
Now, last week we did some good cooking and you all made some very nice pizza. I hope your families enjoyed it.
What are we going to make this week?
Well, it's biscuits this week. And then next week we're going to try making bread.
Can we take them home again, Mrs. Hall?
Yes, Betty, you can.
2. What should Betty get from the fridge?
Now then, Betty, the other children have got everything they need in front of them. So could you go to the fridge and get some eggs?
And do we need milk, Mrs. Hall?
No, not for these biscuits, Betty. Oh, but you do need a bit of butter. You'll find that in the fridge too.
Oh, OK then.
3. What does Betty need to do next?
Before you start, have you washed your hands, Betty? It's very important to have clean hands when you're cooking.
I did that before I came to class, miss.
Good. Now could you get a bowl from that cupboard over there?
OK, Mrs. Hall.
And you need to write all the information about temperature and cooking times in your book. But you can do that later.
All right, Mrs. Hall.
4. What did Betty forget to do?
Did you remember to put some sugar in the bowl, Betty?
Yes, Mrs. Hall.
And a little bit of salt?
Yes, I did that too. But, Mrs. Hall, they don't look very brown.
Well, that's because you didn't turn the cooker on, Betty.
Oh, no!
Don't worry. You can cook them now and come and collect them later.
Thanks, Mrs. Hall.